Hello everyone, welcome to Homeschool Autism Life. My name is Jamie. I want to welcome all of you who are new to my channel. Thank you so much for your love and support and some of the comments that you've given. It's just awesome. The point of this whole channel has been to encourage other parents who are going through this journey of teaching or equipping or loving on children with autism. The homeschool bit is a little bit different than for some. I know some aren't doing that, but I love to encourage you if you are in a season of struggle with the school your child is in. This is an option that is doable and achievable. And no, it's not always easy, but sometimes it is so rewarding to see your child thrive instead of be downhearted and frustrated and all of those things. And there's been a few videos here where I talk about what, pushed me off of the cliff to homeschool. It was definitely God's choice, and I have come on board with that. But it was something that I wanted to share because it was so overwhelming. Just being a parent with a child with special needs, never mind then homeschooling them and feeling that weight. So as you saw from the title, we're going to talk about Darrion's food choices and if there has been a change in that as he has gotten older, or if there's been like any changes, good, bad, or ugly. I realized that there probably have been a few times over the course of me chatting about it that you've got bits and pieces of it, but I've never really sat down and spoke about all of it. So I thought that that's what I would do today in this video. So I want to encourage you all, if you are in a season where your child only likes one thing or two things or three things, it's okay. It's okay. We recently had it brought up by my husband's great uncle, who is just super concerned about us as his parents, but also about him and all of the things that come with that from a position of not knowing anything about autism. And, just wondering if we were perhaps spoiling him and stuff like that. And so again, for the point and purposes of encouragement, you will have people in your life who might look at your child's food or diet choices and go, what is that parent doing? And sometimes it can come from a place of, I know better than they do. And those people you just truly have to ignore. But there's a big thing that I have felt over this journey of watching other people watch me and my husband do this job, that there's so much misunderstanding. And unless you live this life, unless you walk every day in our shoes for, give it a week or two, you truly cannot even comprehend what it is like, what it looks like, even just the little minor battles. There's just so much like big open gap between their experience with their typically developing children and then the gap between special needs. And so if I can encourage you in any way, shape, or form, is whenever you see those looks, or whenever you get those questions, or whenever you are like just give yourself the pep talk or the understanding that they are coming from a place of black, empty, I have no idea. And that doesn't mean that turns off their judgments, but at the same time, you can look at it for what it is and understand that. And that's kind of how we have gone through all of these years, is just recognizing that, the human species likes to make judgments. That's just a part of sometimes who and how we have been built. It's about sin nature. It's about all of those kind of things. And they can look at me and glare at me if they want to. If it's coming from love, like it did with my husband's great uncle, I have no problem explaining, and I'm pretty darn bomb-proof now when even the examples and the way the questions are asked can be offensive if you allow it. I truly just don't allow it. I'm like, you have no understanding, and that's okay, because that was not the life God allowed you to live. And so I just wanted to like preface this whole conversation with, there is no judgment here. I feed my child candy. I feed him Crush Pop, and I'm like, there is so much sugar in there. I do all of the things that you're not supposed to do. You're not allowed to give them wheat. You're not allowed to give them dairy. You're not allowed to give them a whole bunch. There's a litany of lists. And so this is me sharing with you my journey and how we have not completely taken everything out, because our son doesn't show any signs, not even a single one, of struggle in his gut. Zero, nada, nothing. His guts are pretty bomb-proof. I'm saying that a lot, but I feel like that's a good word for today. So our son, when he was younger, when he was a toddler, he would eat toast. He would eat French toast. He would eat any veg or any fruit that I would give him. He would eat so many different things. And again, it was another reason why it was never, his autism wasn't caught until he was 7, was because there were a lot, like the biggest complaint that we had was he had reverted, his language had reverted, but he still loved cuddles, he still laughed a lot, he would even look at us a lot. So there was a lot of things that just didn't fit that diagnosis, and I kind of dismissed it, and especially when the doctors told us he's fine, he'll talk when he's ready, we were like, oh, okay. So when it came to food, as he got into that like 6 to 9-ish age was when he started really restricting the things that he would eat. He wouldn't eat cookies anymore, which I'm like, that's all sugar and chocolate, and but he wouldn't eat that anymore. He stopped eating blueberries because of his teeth. We'd feed him frozen blueberries, and I was like, superfood, I'm giving him super, and then his teeth, we had struggles with FSCD, pain for his teeth needing to be fixed because we have to put him under for that. There was just so many things that just slowly but surely he dropped off. So he is now 15 years old, and there is a very narrow amount of food that he will eat unless it's candy pop and those sorts of things. Even like the junk food that he likes, like French fries and chicken fingers, they had better be the right kind of chicken fingers and French fries. So it's one of those things where we have struggled to help him expand again. And I look at the things that he does eat, and I praise God and I thank God for the way he does eat. So as he started shrinking down the amount of foods that he ate, I wanted to share what does he eat in a day. So one of the things that we did, because, just over time you start recognizing how much sugar your child eats and you want to backpedal, we recognized how much gluten he ate, not toast, not bread, just pasta. But we kind of scaled back and we introduced him to a it was one that he finally could take. I think it's called Barilla, which is a non-gluten, and I'm just trying to remember what it is made out of. Anyway, that one is readily available, and that was the only one that he would actually eat. But we intermix it with the pasta that is flour. So there was a few things that we did. We changed out his juice with a sugar-free one that we get from Melaleuca. And those are the things that we did to kind of scale back the unhealthy things, the things that we're not supposed to give him. But he still gets plenty of those bad foods, right? So what does he eat? He always eats pretty much consistently 2 meals a day, sometimes 3 if we say go to church, and that meal consists of some oranges and fruit snacks. So not like super healthy, but not super bad either. So what does he usually eat Monday through Friday and Saturday is 2 meals. The first meal, he always gets his sugar-free juice, or if he's bought in pop, he will drink pop in the morning. Again, you have permission to do whatever you need to live your life. And it's usually the ones that have like the caffeine in it, because I won't let him drink that kind of stuff at night, because I do not want him struggling to go to sleep more than he already does. He will have an orange or 2, depending on the size of the oranges. They always have to be mandarins. They cannot be wet. They cannot have seeds. They have to be a certain kind. And so there are times where we feel like we're paying a fortune for his one fruit that he will accept and eat. But we always feel like it's important because it is fibrous. It also has his vitamin C and all the nutrients that it could be worse, right? Then he has plain pasta in the morning, always plain pasta. So sometimes we give him the gluten-free stuff. Sometimes we give him the stuff with gluten. It just depends on what we have readily available. And sometimes he asks for different ones. Sometimes he'll say the spaghetti, which is the gluten-free stuff. Sometimes he'll say macaronis. So again, that's what we do. And then we always give him cheese in the morning. So that is literally the only dairy that he will tolerate. And we feel like because he is a growing boy and is needing the calcium, I prefer to give him that even if it is deemed a bad thing because of the dairy in it. And that's what he will have. He won't eat, usually, like I told you in a previous thing talking about his schedule, he will not eat until around 11-ish. At the earliest, sometimes 10:30, like I said. At church it's about 10-11-ish. But yeah, then when we come home, he gets that regular meal after church. So it's usually about that time. He does not want anything to eat before then. And then for supper, when supper comes along, I should say after school, he always gets candy. Always. Always, always, always. Or I make a joke that I either can teach him to read and do math, or I can give him no sugar. There's not one or, like, it's literally one or the other. It's not, I'm a bad parent if I don't. If I give him sugar, I'm like, I have a choice here and these are the 2 choices available. And I love some of the people who are like, well, just don't take him anywhere. Don't take him to a store. Don't show him peeking. Don't show him any of that. And I'm like, good luck. If you could all get the stores to make that stuff disappear the second we walk in the store, it might be doable. It might be possible. But until that happens, this is the way it is. So he will have that. Like I said, then we'll do sunrise program, and then it's time for Mama to make supper. The supper meal is, again, a breakfast. Again, we have to call things certain things. So for now on, I'm going to say dinner. His last meal of the day, dinner, is going to be very repetitious. So on occasion, depending on what we're having, if we're having hamburger or we're having chicken, he loves fried chicken where he can take the skin off. If we're having something like that, hot dogs he's pretty good with. Any sort of meal like that, then I can give him stuff, but he still needs to have his cheese. That's become a regular thing more recently, where he was like, okay, I want my cheese too. Used to be I could get away with not giving him cheese then. but that's changed as he's gotten older. And then we either give him pasta or French fries. Plain pasta, don't dare put sauce on it, or butter or oil or anything like that, just seasoning, salt, and the French fries. Those are the two starches that he will tolerate and nothing else, and he eats them fairly good. So we give him a pretty big portion because he only has 2 meals a day. And then we give him green peas, snap peas. And those are pretty much the only vegetable that he has. But he will eat carrots cut into like the dollar coin size. He will eat cucumbers cut into sticks. He will eat spinach, so he calls them leaves. And he will eat celery cut in like the little slices of celery. So that's pretty much it. That's the sum total of what my son will eat. There are times where we will always offer him something that we're having, and he's gotten pretty good about licking it like this as quickly as possible. But generally speaking, he still doesn't want to try anything. He seems happy and content with what he has, and we honestly don't force it. We don't push it. We don't get frustrated or angry with him, because for him there's something like, it could be sensory, it could be this is what I like, don't touch it, don't mess with it. If we don't have seasoning salt, there are times where he will accept a different kind of salt, but that's pretty much where the variation lets go. So why am I okay with this? Why am I okay with him just eating what I've shared? And I'm like, for an autistic fella, it's pretty balanced. He doesn't have a large variety, but at the same time, he has a fruit, he has a protein and calcium, but he also has a starch that will give him energy to grow. Same thing, he'll eat quite a bit of vegetables, but with this portion of the pasta and the meat or the cheese. And then just drinks have to be this one kind of juice that we get in packets. And I feel good about giving it to him because it's not high in sugar. At the end of the day, whatever you as parents are dealing with, whatever you are needing to like focus on and whatever, like there is no judgment. I know just how hard it is to institute a change or get something different for our kids, and I feel like every single time I'm okay with it. Whatever he needs to feel confident, and as long as he is healthy, there is nothing that I need to do or judge somebody else for in this special needs parenting. We need to live our lives, and our kids need to live their lives without censure and bully and whatever. Our friends and our families who might have a different idea on how to take care of our kids, again, unless they live in our house for 2 weeks and can say, oh, I made all of these massive changes and your child is still happy and healthy and whatever, I would love to know what your trick is. But in the meantime, dear friends, if you are in a season of struggle when this comes, I hope that this is an encouragement. There's lots and lots of experts and people saying, don't give your kid this and don't do this and don't let them watch screens and don't do this and don't do that. And again, I appreciate the thoughts behind it. I appreciate the ideas behind it. Even our Sunrise program, our home-based therapy program, has a litany of what do's and don'ts. And I, as much as I have tried over the years to institute them, it hasn't happened. And I've gotten, hey buddy, I've gotten okay with not. And so I hope that this is, it just helps to know that you're not the only one going, how do I manage this? Sorry, my son is bouncing around. How do I manage this? How do I affect this change that they say is all important? It's not physically, humanly possible at this point. It's okay. Well, I hope that this has been helpful. I hope it's been encouraging. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and have a wonderful, wonderful day with your kiddos. One-dorable. I need to make that my slogan. Have a one-dorable day. We'll talk to you later. Bye.